Hi garden friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Era and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A. It's Sunday and it's time for a Sunday walkabout. Alright guys, so for today's video I'll be mostly focusing on the front, especially the foundation. And as per usual, there are weeds. We have been getting a lot of rain. Remember when back in July we were like, oh my god, it's so hot, it needs to rain, it's barely raining, or it's just a drizzle? And here comes August and literally every day or every other day there's rain. It could be just a drizzle, it could be a really nice shower, or pouring rain. And because of that, the plants are looking great. But as you know, Mr. Weed is also coming through too. So here's one right here. I'm just gonna go in and pull it as per usual. Remember, make sure when you're pulling, make sure you get the root, because if you don't get the root, you really didn't do anything but pull the head off, right? Here's another guy here. Now, there's a lot of them out here, right? There's a lot of weeds out here. And there's only so much you can do, you know, because just like how when it rains, the plants love it, the weeds are going to really take to it as well. Now, here's something here that has a little spikes on it, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'll come back to that. But this weed is a big weed in this bed, this type of weed, this guy here, right? And I'm just going to pull it, I'm going to pull it, I'm going to pull it. We also have some grass stuff. This might be monkey grass, or not monkey grass, mondo grass that's coming through. No matter what I do, I can't get this guy out. It's all over the place, but here it is right here. I'm trying to pull it out. Okay, this is, and look, you see, it actually grows underground. You see that? Which is never easy for a gardener, because the more you pull, the more you're going to pull it out, and then you're going to move a lot of stuff, and then you might actually awaken more weeds. But for now, that's all I can do, guys. You know, I'm just waiting for the fall for some of these things to kind of die back so I can get a better handle on some of these things. But yeah, that's pretty much me with the weeds, guys. And then I think this might be the clover that people pointed out to me. Right? Didn't get the root on that. So I'm going to have to come back and get the root. So it's just been tough for me, guys. And I mean, I have cardboard underneath here and I have the mulch, and it's just like you say, like I always say, you know, it's not just about the bottom, you know, weeds do come from the top as well. Weeds are coming out because the wind blows it over in your garden and everything. But all you can do, guys, is just stay on top of it. Just stay on top of it and you should be fine. And remember, the goal of the garden is not to be, well, we'd like to be weed free. But if you obsess too much about being weed free, you'll stress yourself out, guys. Weeds are going to always be here, okay? So here's another guy right here. And this looks like I can grab him. Okay, and he's all the way here. Okay, see him right there? That's a nice pull right there. So that's the weeding in this particular bed. What I also want to show you is that my lyrope are beginning to bloom. They're kind of late, actually. But I'm still happy about it. This is the lyrope that is the Mascari one, the one that has these really nice purple blooms. They're doing great. I was wondering about them because I think last year they were already blooming and I was worried, but they are looking great so far. So here's a bunch of them in the garden. And again, look right here, guys. More weeds to pull. Right there, right there, right there. Okay, more weeds right here. But the lyrope is looking good. Let's focus on the good, guys. Okay, another thing I want to point out in this garden is that my Corells are not looking the greatest. Corells are supposed to be evergreen for me here in Georgia. Now, these two look fine, but I don't know what his story is. And I'm wondering if he's getting too much water, or, which I would never do, which is plant this deep, too deep. Because, you know, they don't like clay. They will wiggle themselves out of clay if you don't amend the soil. And I have clay and I do amend. I'm not sure why he's looking like that. I might have to dig him up and kind of, you know, steady him a little bit better. Otherwise, in this garden is mainly evergreens, guys. I've got Clara in this bed. I've got this guy here, which is a camellia. I have several camellias in here. And then I also have some nandinas here as well. I need to cut these off, like I say. But that's pretty much the foundation. It's not the prettiest foundation, guys, because the goal for me, really, when I was thinking about this foundation bed, yes, is to look nice, but also so that I don't have to keep coming in here. Everything in here is evergreen. The Corells, the lyrope, the azalea, the fern, the nandina, the clara, and the camellia. They're all evergreen, and that was the whole point. On the other side of the foundation is, again, more Corells, and I'm noticing that some of them have holes in them, so something's eating at them. So I need to look into that. Never a good thing. My spider's web fatsia is looking great. You guys know this blooms. This blooms a really nice white, spike-like thing, but I haven't had it long enough for it to bloom, and I've heard that it really has to be in like peak condition for it to bloom. So let me know if you have the spider's web fatsia and whether or not it's doing well in your yard and if it has bloomed yet. Here, I'm coming down a little further and I'm seeing even more damage to my Corells, guys. See all those holes in there? Not happy about that. I wonder if because the plant is not happy. It's not healthy, and sometimes bugs will come after your plants when they're not doing well. But why would this not be doing well? I don't know, if it's getting too much water. But the thing is, I'm not watering anything. It's just the rain. It's just all this rain we're getting in August. So I'm going to keep an extra eye on this because I really don't want to have to move these things and put them somewhere else or go through the rigmarole of figuring out why these things are getting eaten. Also here I have these beautiful guys here. These are Goshiku Osmanthus. Love these because they're evergreen. Love these because they have different colors on them, especially the new growth is looking really nice and pinky red. And I usually see these at my Lowe's or my Home Depot during the holiday season. They market these as something you can put in the front of your yard and put Christmas lights on and all that stuff. But I don't use it for that. This is just on my foundation. And here's two. Here's another two right here, so you can see a better look of the new foliage. Isn't this nice? I heard it blooms, but it's never bloomed since it's been with me, and I heard it takes years for it to bloom. Let me know if you have the Goshiku Osmanthus and if it blooms in your yard. Here are two Shishi Gasher camellias, guys. These are going to be clearance plants from Lowe's. I've had these for 2 years, and well, maybe not even 2, to be honest with you. Had them in somewhere else. They didn't look like they were doing well. Moved them here, and they're doing great. They are part sun plant. They bloom in the fall and the winter, right? Another thing that I think about is that I want to have flowers not just in the spring and the summer, right? So I'm happy to report that we have buds. We have buds on the Shishi Gasher camellia. And what I also like about Shishi Gasher, or not all, but a lot of these camellias are these really nice green glossy leaves, guys. Look at that. And I know that they are susceptible to the scale. They're susceptible. They're really susceptible. So I'm keeping an eye on them, but they are so beautiful. And remember, with these, be careful how you prune these, because you definitely do not want to cut off these new buds, because if you do, you won't get any blooms in the winter and the fall. So this is my side/front yard, and the last time you saw this, nothing has really changed, really. Down there is where you see all that shade plants that I planted. Remember all those hostas and heucheras and carex and astilbe. All that stuff is still here, and they're doing great. They're all in the shade. I think the only thing you might not have seen that I planted, even though I think I had the container out, are the bloomstruck hydrangeas right there. They're in the ground. And I stopped right here on purpose because, as you guys know, and probably the last time I'm going to mention this before it actually happens, is that this tree needs to be cut down, and it just has not been cut down yet, guys. I'm waiting. This is why. I'm waiting for the leaves to fall so I can get a better price, because apparently they're going to charge you more when it's more branches and more leaves. I'm waiting for it to de-leaf and everything, and hopefully get a better deal, because all this area here, you see all this area, that still needs to have planting done. I have all the plants ready. I do. I have I have roses, I have boxwoods, I have, I mean, crepe myrtles, I have lilies, all kinds of hydrangeas to plant here. But I don't want to plant anything here because when the guys do come later on in the year, I don't want them messing up my stuff. So that's why I haven't put anything here. But I am waiting for a good price. This tree is not healthy. This tree is leaning towards my house, and this tree needs to go. All right, guys, I'm back in the backyard, and there's a couple things I want to point out about what's going on here. So, dahlias. I still have dahlias in the up part that I did earlier on in the season. Remember, I bought these dahlias from Lowe's or Home Depot, and then I planted them up, and then they kind of sprouted, and they're doing fine, right? But I had started putting them in the ground because I like dahlias. Dahlias come out later on in the season. This is the time when dahlias begin to bud up and bloom. When other people, other plants are done with what they're doing, here comes the dahlia because dahlias love the heat. So these are all looking great. I stopped taking them out of these pots and putting them in the ground because I just was saying to myself, maybe it's just best if I leave dahlias as a container plant, because the idea of dahlia, I mean, literally, I know this. I know that dahlias need staking. This is not news to me, or this is not something I didn't know before. It's just that the level of staking, I just cannot give that kind of work to that dahlia, right? So here's a dahlia, and it is laying down on its, just laying down. It just doesn't have the strength to stand up. And it's the plant itself is okay. But another thing I want to point out too, guys, is that remember when I did all these dahlias videos and I made my marker? I am pretty sure I use a permanent marker. And I made a point of using a permanent marker. But with all the rain and guys, I don't even know what those dahlias are anymore. They all got washed away. And I said to myself, did I not use a permanent? I only have permanent markers. And I don't know what this dahlia is now. And I don't know what any of the dahlias are that I bought recently. Now, I know I have the Thomas Edison, and I know I have a couple more that I know by name. But the ones that I recently bought, like these guys here, they all got washed away, right? So maybe I'm just using the wrong tag. So from now on, I won't be able to tell you what type of dahlia this is. And this really, it really sucks because I love dahlias, and I made a point. Maybe I can go into the video when I bought them and kind of try to figure out what they are once they bloom. But that's just something that's going to put me back a little bit because I don't know what the name of the dahlias are anymore. If you're looking for a rose that smells absolutely amazing in your yard, that you don't have to go close to sniff it, you can actually smell it across the yard, try the Rio Samba. This is a hybrid tea rose that smells so amazing. I was on the other side doing the video, and I really wasn't going to include this guy in this walkabout, but I just had to come over and show it to you guys. I intend to put it up in another video in a short, so you can get a little bit more details about it, but how beautiful is this? Let me know if you have Rio Samba Rose in your yard and how it does. All right, guys, so my Queen Nectarine, or meant to be Queen Nectarine by Proven Winners, and Agastaki that I had here, all of a sudden it's looking like it's dying. And I panicked and I cut it off a little bit to see if that does anything, but I don't think it's going to make it, guys. Don't know what the story is, to be honest with you, because I have two more. I have 3 of them that I got on clearance, and I raved about them. I was so happy. And this guy here, see, right there, this guy here, I don't think he's going to make it, guys. I don't know. So here he is, right? But here I'm going to show you the other 2. Here's one of them right here. And they are just loved. This is the #1 hummingbird plant in my yard. So I definitely don't want this thing to die, guys. So here's one. And then here's another one right here. And they're doing quite fine. So I really don't know what the story is with that other one. Let me know if you do have the meant to be Queen Nectarine Agastaki, and how it performs in your yard. My sunflower, one of them in particular, is beginning to lean. We've been getting a lot of rain, guys, and some serious wind too. And I don't know if that's the reason, or because there's so many sunflower heads on here that's bringing the plant down, but you can see it's actually leaning now. So another good wind, it might actually break, but I'm really hoping to have the rest of the sunflowers come out before the plant gives up, before the plant actually falls over. The other guy here, he's standing tall. You see this one here? He's standing quite tall, upright and everything, but this guy here, he's leaning, and I think it's a combination of the heads being that heavy and also because of all the wind. But I've been having a great time creating bouquets with this. I actually cut these off and put them in a bouquet and put them in a vase, and they do really, really well, guys. This one is it was supposed to be the Magic Roundabout. That's what I bought, but it doesn't look as yellowy as I thought it would look, but still I'm happy with it. I'm not going to complain about it. It's my first go around with planting sunflowers from seed, and I'm really impressed with myself, and I'm actually impressed with this plant because it does really, really well. Otherwise, nothing much to talk about today, guys. Like I said, I haven't really gotten to do too much in the yard because certain things have to be in place to get to another level of what I need to do. But as soon as I get into the rhythm of start moving plants around, I cannot wait for the fall, guys. I'm kind of over the summer. I'm over the heat, even though we're not that hot. Last week was marvelous, and they're saying that this week is going to be just as good. We're going to be in the low 60s up until the mid 80s. We're not going to be in the 90s. Very happy about that. So really enjoy yourself out in the garden. If you need to transplant, you can transplant if you wanted to. It depends on what type of plant it is. The best time to transplant for me personally is after September into October, when the temperatures have cooled down and before we start getting that serious rain. Because of course, when you transplant plants, they are not really doing a lot of growing, and you don't want them to just be sitting in water, especially if you have a wet type of fall, right? But in any case, let me know what you think, guys. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted whenever I put out a new video. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye-bye.